Hello everyone, my name is Mr. B and welcome back to another video. So a few hours ago I received a piece of news on Instagram coming from the Princess Connect Redive global account, and it was a news that pretty much surprised me and a lot of people who play the game, and that was the news of a termination of service, a TOS, and the TOS will be effective on 31st April 2023, basically a month from now. And this, as a fan and as someone who plays the game, this came as a surprise. A lot of us were hoping, were pretty much praying for this to be a April Fool's joke, a sick April Fool's joke that took place on March 31st. But of course, that's just wishful thinking and it's real. And Crunchyroll actually posted a statement on their website, which I'm going to read now. We'll cut straight to the chase. Our shared time in Astria is coming to an end. On April 30th, 2023 UTC, Princess Connect Redive will reach its end of service, and players will be unable to log into their accounts after that date. In preparation for this end of service, as of today, the in-game shop has been closed, and all in-app purchases are no longer available for purchase. Players will still be able to use any accrued jewels or similar resources until the closure of the game at the end of April, including two new characters releasing between now and then, Rin Ranger and Mahiru Ranger, the latter of which will be available on April 17th UTC. We know this is unfortunate news to hear, and relaying a decision like this to everyone does not come easy. However, one thing is absolutely clear. We are immensely grateful and thankful to all the loyal fans and players that have enjoyed Princess Connect Redive. We only hope that everyone has enjoyed the past 2+ years together as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Now, reading that, didn't really explain anything. They didn't really explain why the game got cancelled, the game got terminated. They didn't really explain anything. This piece of news, as a fan of the game, is both infuriating and of course sad, emotional. I played this game pre-launch because it was available here in my country pretty early compared to a lot of other places, so I was able to download the game pretty early, and I've been playing this game for, well, more than 2 years now. The game was fantastic. It was pretty good, and while it's not for everyone, it was for me. And to hear it being terminated just out of the blue is pretty surprising. Now, like I said, the description, the blog, the post, whatever, it doesn't really go into detail as to what the reason is for this termination. So, looking up online, looking up Reddit, Twitter, whatever, I could gather people are making two big assumptions. Now, of course, I have to preface this and say that all of this is coming from Twitter and Reddit, so don't really trust it, so take it with a grain of salt. But that's all we got going for now. That's all the information that we have. That's all the information that I have at this moment. I'm recording this again a few hours after it's been announced, and so far there's been no development as to what the actual reason is. So we can only speculate for now, but these speculations kinda make sense. The first theory is the obvious one, which is money. If you play Princess Connect Redive, you probably understand that the game is very free to play friendly. You don't really need to spend your money that much because the game is very generous when it comes to their premium currency. I can't remember spending a single dime on this game, and I was able to collect not all, but most of the characters that I wanted. While the gacha is pretty bad, and I could see people spending money on it, nobody really spends money on this game because you get premium currency so easy. And because of that, the game didn't really generate a lot of revenue. Again, this is from sources on Reddit, so take it with a grain of salt, but the game only earned about 200k last month, while the JP version earned about 4 million. Again, I don't know how true this is. I looked up online and didn't really find a more recent source for this, so I can't really back this up. But it makes sense. The numbers do make sense because Princess Connect Redive is insanely big in Japan. It is one of the big gacha game IPs out there, which I'm going to talk about later. And it makes sense that it generates a lot of revenue. And it makes sense it doesn't generate a lot of revenue in yen, in global, because of the second reason, which is Crunchyroll. Now, I'm not going to dive too deep into this one because this is the first Crunchyroll game I've played, and apparently, to a lot of people, they weren't really surprised of this because Crunchyroll sort of have a habit of ruining a game that they publish. So Crunchyroll has this reputation in the gacha gaming community apparently that it's not a good publisher. It's sort of on the same level as Nexon or Tencent. But the fact that they managed to terminate Princess Connect Redive, again, one of the biggest IPs in Japan, shows that they they done mess up. They done messed up. And a lot of that has to do with the game sort of being too slow compared to that of the JP version. The game was launched a couple years after the JP version had been launched, which is generally fine, but the game was so slow when it comes to updates. The first year was fine. The first year was fine because it's standard to have a lot of new banners during the first year to just sort of, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. But it was too slow. It was generally going really slow, and compared to games like, for example, like Art Knights, which was only like 6 months behind that of CN, Princess Connect apparently was years behind that of JP, but they didn't really try to catch up. The way Princess Connect Redive's banners work, if I remember correctly, is that after the first year, of course, there's obviously a rerun. There's obviously a rerun of an event. And during the second year, there was a lot of reruns, of course, but instead of having reruns coinciding with the new event, it had a rerun on its own. Basically, they decide to fill in space with reruns rather than having a new event. And for a game that is years lagging behind that of JP, it's not that good because people know the schedule that is going to come out. People are not going to spend money because they know that a banner that is going to come up is going to be much more worth it. And because it's so slow, the banners that are going to come up will be coming up much, much later. And because of this, people don't really spend money. The game is giving away a lot of premium currency, but there's nothing really for people to use it on, so people save that money. And when the banner they want finally comes, they would use their saved jewels and try to get that character. And most often than not, they will probably get that character, unless they're very unlucky like I am. Which brings me to my thoughts. What do I think about all this? What do I think about all this situation that's been going on? Well, again, as a fan, I am pretty sad. I am pretty sad that a game that I like is ending. This is the first time a game that I actually played, not just gacha game, but an actual game that I've played is going to end its services. This is the first time I'm experiencing this feeling that all those 2 years that I spent is going to end, not ceremoniously. We're not going to get a proper ending. It's ending just like that. And for a game like Princess Connect Redive, it was a game that I was hyped to play because the first season of the anime was released way before the global one was released. And so I checked it out and was really interested. I didn't finish the anime, at least at the time I didn't finish it, but I was interested with the game, and when the game was released, I was so hyped to play it. And I played it on and off for more than 2 years now, so I really genuinely enjoy the game. It's not a game for everybody, of course, like I said, but it is a game for me. It is a game that I truly, truly like. The gameplay, while not the best, the what makes me really like the game so much was the characters, the world, the story, the everything. If you've played a game by side games before, you'd understand that they would normally put every single ounce of energy and effort into their game, which is the main reason why their games are so goddamn big in Japan, is because they put in everything into their games. Princess Connect Redive had everything. It had love, it had everything that you would want from a gacha game, you would want from a free to play game. Yes, it's still a gacha game, and a lot of people do still have that negative view on gacha games, which fair point, I guess. But the best thing about the game is not the fact that it's a gacha game, but the fact that it is, to me at least, a genuinely fun game. I really enjoy interacting with the characters, just watching the stories and everything. It was part of the reason why I really like this game. As it stands right now, what I think about all this is that I'm sad that 2 years that I'm spending right now is going to be gone, and it's not even going to be available on offline. It's just gone now. You can't even go into the game anymore. And some people might say, oh, just play the JP version. It doesn't really work that way because I spent 2 years playing the game, and the thing that I like about the game are the stories, and I can't really read the stories if it's in Japanese because I don't understand that language. So to me, this is the end of my journey to Princess Connect Redive, at least for the game. Aside from that, I'm also angry. I'm angry about the fact that Crunchyroll somehow managed to mess up one of the biggest IPs in Japan, one of the biggest games in Japan, made by Side Games of all people, and they somehow messed it up. They somehow messed everything up. The game honestly deserves better. It does not deserve to be shut down like this. And a lot of people are hoping, are praying that Side Games EN will take over this game, but to me, that's just wishful thinking because of how low the revenue is for the game, which is not bad when you consider it being a gacha game and the events that's been going on for it to receive such a low amount of revenue. But to them, they might think, oh, it's not really worth the trouble. So to me, I think that Side Games EN taking over completely from Crunchyroll is a pipe dream. But it is still a possibility in the future. And although it is a pipe dream, it is a dream that I hope comes true. So to close things off, I just want to say that I enjoyed my time in Princess Connect so much. I enjoyed my time at Landsol so much. I enjoyed listening, I enjoyed watching, enjoyed reading the characters and the antics and shenanigans and all that. I enjoyed this game to the fullest. And for the next 30 days at the time of me recording this, I'm going to enjoy this game. I'm going to play the story. I'm going to read the story as much as I possibly can, because if this is to be the end of the journey, then I'm going to make sure I reach to the end of it. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more, leave a comment down below as to what you guys think about this whole situation, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.